So at first I tried to go through legal channels, but the cops, think they were any help? Just gave me the runaround. Yeah, that's when I decided to take the law into my own hands.
Law.
The law.
Law. The law.
A frightening situation for a neighborhood on the northwest side after residents woke up to gunshots and a SWAT team arriving on the scene. News for Tucson's Lupita Murillo is live on the northwest side with details on what we know so far. Lupita.
Well, I can tell you that officials tell me it involves a double shooting that took place in this house right behind me. And now officials are looking for William Vick, who is still on the run.
Heard a lot of little gunshots, but not really loud. And I've seen a lot of the lights and sheriffs out there with guns, and it's really scary. I didn't know what was going on.
Ursula Salazar lives a few doors down from the house where PCSD says 2 people were shot.
The information I have is there was an adult male and an adult female, both struck by gunfire. They were able to leave the residence and transport themselves to the hospital.
Sources tell News 4 Tucson 2 women and a child were inside when the shooting happened. They were out before the SWAT team made entry.
They had information that the suspect is either the owner or the resident of the house, so they were just being extra cautious in case he was inside, and maybe he was armed. Anytime there's a shooting, we take extra precautions. So just want to be safe.
At the same time, deputies were keeping the surrounding areas safe as well.
I get a very loud pounding bang on my door, and it's the sheriff's department advising us to not leave our home, that there's a situation going on in the neighborhood.
Officials tell us the victims who were shot are in stable condition. Again, if you have any information about this, you are urged to call 911 or 88-CRIME.
Well, this is it, kid.
Wait, I got an idea. What's going on, officer?
We're looking for an escaped convict, ma'am.
We heard on that on the radio. Right, honey?
Have you seen this man?
Blasting better heads unboiled.
And that is what convicts respectively take a different turn. It started to escalate. Then the trolls would show up in hopes of destroying his YouTube career.
Then the trolls would show up in hopes of destroying his YouTube career.
Then the trolls would show up in hopes of destroying his YouTube career.
You guys are a bunch of friggin' pussies. You know, and I don't care if people can. I don't like the behavior. Okay? I don't like the behavior. I don't like it, period. Period.
Yeah, it's not cool.
It's like, it's not even a way to behave. Normal people don't act like that. Normal people don't act like that.
A friend would introduce Ralph Molina, a.k.a. Casper, to Flacco. According to reports, Casper was a booster, and the relationship looked to be beneficial to Flacco in some ways. The two would get along from the outset, or so it seemed. But Flacco knew little about Casper's background. He was, according to some, an active Sereno with family members in high places. And hate was in his blood, but Flacco did not know that hate and jealousy was brewing. Casper would ask if he could rent a room from Flacco, and he agreed. Before long, it was clear that Casper was getting high and living a life of mischief. High on meth, Casper started tuning into the YouTube channel. And was reading comments and watching troll videos. Casper would start to do his own investigations, learning more about the man he was renting a room from. In his mind, he did not like what he was hearing. It was against what he believed in, or so it seemed for the moment. He would tell some of the women that were around both men that he felt Flacco was a sucker for going out how he went out. Instead of being a man as he claimed, he was telling Flacco how he felt. He would talk behind his back. Jealousy seemed to be the real reason for his hate. Some people allege Flacco was hustling. Was it true? Only he knows that. But on the night of June 9, 2023, Flacco, Casper, and Priscilla, Casper's side chick, were all sitting at a table in the dining room when Casper began to talk about the plugs he had. The bravado between these men would escalate, and Flacco would chuckle that if he had plugs, why was Casper so broke? Casper would get into his feelings. The pot boiled and then began to overflow. The two men would begin to argue. Casper, embarrassed in front of this woman about Flacco's insinuations that he was a nobody, jumps up from the table and yells, "I don't give a fuck how big you are," and would grab for his phone, pretending he had a gun. This mistake was fatal. Pretending to have a gun has been the death of many young men. And in an act of self-defense, Flacco would pull a real gun, not a cell phone. A .40 caliber was in his hand in an instant. One shot would ring out, leaving Casper laying on the floor, crying out in pain. He apologized through tears and would scream, "Please, don't kill me." Flacco could have ended his life, but realizing that Casper had only his cell phone in his hand, showed restraint, probably saving his own life from prison and Casper's life from death. The bullet would ricochet off Casper's bone, hitting Priscilla in the leg. She too would yell out in pain, as Flacco yells to Priscilla to get Casper the fuck out of his house. In distress, Priscilla shouts out, "Don't shoot him no more." Flacco's response was simple, "Just get the fuck out." Priscilla would take Casper to a local hospital, and no one was there to help them. There was no doctor at the urgent care to mend Casper's gunshot wound. They would then call 911, and for all the things that Casper did not like Flacco for, he would now do by signing a statement implicating Flacco in the crime at hand. A crime that seems on its face, a crime of self-defense. Police would surround Flacco's house and he would be nowhere to be found. He was hiding out until he could get in contact with his attorney. And as this YouTube world knows, he would turn himself in offering those statements. Some things are stranger than fiction.
There have been many instances where young men have lost their lives pretending they had a gun and they really didn't. And I think in this situation, we go back to the beginning where people were speculating, talking, hey man, Flacco was doing this out of his house, he was doing that. These people tried to rob him. You heard all the stories, but that's not really what happened. What happened was Flacco met this dude, thought he was all right. Let's keep it real, right? Real and raw, Flacco's a leader. He was a leader in life. Regardless of his past and what he's done, he was a leader, right? You don't just go from being a leader to, being a nobody.